All right, real quickly before we get started here, I want to apologize for the audio on this episode. We had a bit of an issue with our audio recorder, so the audio you hear today is coming straight from the camera, so it's not great, but I've done the best I can to kind of clean it up and, make it a little bit better. We're getting back in the swing of things. We'll get it fixed for next time. Here's the episode. Awesome. My name is Caleb. He's Mark, and we've been away for a while. We've been busy. Is my excuse that I'm going to choose to use right now. I'll try to think of a couple more before we end this. I do want to apologize. The one thing that I remember from the last episode is that I promised before we recorded again, I would get you a pair of headphones.
How'd that work out?
Not great. I've ordered a lot of things since then, but headphones kind of...
I think also you were bragging how we had 2 in a row, maybe 3 weeks in a row or something, and now it's been 3 months.
Well, see, the problem was I think I knocked on wood, but this is actually press board, so I don't think that worked out very well. But it's June is coming to an end. We're halfway through summer. I don't know. I have no concept.
Summer just started, I think.
Yeah, technically,
it's
but it's also been summer for 4 months. What's new?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot's happened since we've done this. The golf course here, with what we've been doing, in the golf world, obviously, so all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I think the last time we talked about the possibility of another tour, and they've already had an event.
And going to have another one.
Yeah, is that this coming week? I should probably know these things, but time is irrelevant.
Look at you, West Coast.
I think Portland.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're playing. That's the one thing that bothered me about, because the one thing I really liked was it was super easy to watch. All you had to do was just search for it on YouTube, one stream, streaming in the morning, and then go to this channel, and then go to the other channel. The one thing that I really didn't like is I had no idea anything about the golf course they played. I know it was called Centurion or something, and it was in London, but I knew nothing about the golf course.
They didn't do a very good job of that.
And it was their first event. I mean, they were trying to, I don't know, explain what...
Maybe they just didn't have enough funds to do that.
Funding is definitely not an issue for them, but yeah, it was interesting, I guess. I mean, more and more tour players are going. I guess I can't just say tour players anymore. That's too general. PGA tour players are leaving to go to Live, which took me a long time to realize that meant 54. I thought they were naming it after Super Bowl 54, so they were hitting a time in Miami. But yeah, that's what Live stands for. I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
In fact, I was trying to figure out, do you pronounce it Live or Live or...
I don't know. I think you pronounce it 54. I think you're actually supposed to say 54
Really?
Every time. I have no idea. So yeah, obviously a lot changing in the larger scale world of golf, even though that's kind of a different world of golf altogether. That's not really what we do. I mean, that's not what most golfers do. It's what they watch on TV, but it's kind of a different sport, essentially. I mean, no one coming out here is having to decide whether they want to take $200 million to go play a different golf course. That's just a kind of different world.
Yeah, most golfers are deciding, do I want to go spend $35 or $65 to play?
Most choose 35. At least I usually do. But yeah, what's been new around here? You mentioned new stuff with the golf course here.
Oh, well, just a lot of work. We continued the process, and we've done a lot of work on the clubhouse. Obviously, we still have a ways to go. We just got, probably been a month or 6 weeks, new chairs in the clubhouse.
Yeah, 2 months.
And I think we had a couple of our really sharp members noticed after 4 weeks that we had new chairs. One of them was sitting in the chair putting his shoes on. It's like, hey, these are new chairs. So that kind of stuff happens. But no, a lot of that and the continued work on the golf course. We're into the growing season now, so trying to be aggressive with the greens and do some stuff there. But the biggest issue for us on the golf course maintenance, we've just been in the middle of a stinking drought for 2 months.
So I kind of laugh when you said growing season.
Yeah, it's just brutal. So in fact, we have a maintenance building full of fertilizer for the fairways, and we're just we just don't want to throw it out there and get fried. So, you know, and normally that wouldn't be that big of an issue, but we're also working on our irrigation system at the same time. Which you've been doing a lot of that yourself out there, so you know very well.
I wouldn't say know very well. I know very well that I've been working on it, but yeah, I'm now an irrigation specialist, self-taught. YouTube has been used quite a bit. I also just search for things on Twitter and hope that I find the right thing, which has actually worked a couple times. It's amazing what you can find on the internet. But yeah, that's been a good challenge, to say the least. Snap rings are not fun to pull out because you will pinch your fingers about a million times.
But yeah, that's kind of, as I've told people when we got here, yeah, it's like we can remodel a room, fix the floor, and put some paint up and some nice golf artifacts and pictures and stuff. But when it comes to the golf course, you're looking at a 3 to 5 year process of turning it around. Even though we're very proud, it's a lot better. And we get a lot of those comments, but still not even close to where we would like it to be. So, yeah, we count it in growing seasons, and this one's been brutal. If you look at the cornfields beside us, I'm not even sure their corn's going to make it.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing for you and me especially, is we see it every day, so it's harder to see the progress because you're just so used to looking at the same things. It's like when I go down to Florida for a couple of days and I come back, it's like, oh wow, everything's greener, or oh wow, everything's more yellow. It's like you can actually notice it when you take a couple of days and go somewhere else. It's hard when you're in the middle of it to really see the bigger picture.
Yeah, we're probably guilty of not, because the list is so long. You're probably guilty of not really saying, wow, look what we did.
Yeah.
Because you're already on to the next one that needs to be done.
Yeah.
On that long list. So, yeah, it's a process. It's some days are more frustrating than others.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be able to stand back and look and say, hey, you know what? It's not so bad.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that, well, not the biggest reason that I kind of stopped playing golf for a while. The biggest reason was I don't have the time to do it. The other reason is every time you go out there and try to relax or play a few holes, you just see everything and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to go back to work. This isn't enjoyable. But
This is pretty depressing.
I didn't mean to make it like this. But it's just it's different. It's different being on the course and then actually playing it, and you kind of get the full picture together there. You're like, oh man, I gotta work on this specifically right now.
Which, I've said several times, I get guilty of getting trapped in here doing everything.
Yeah.
And I don't get out and see the golf course, which you have to do that daily to get a really a good feel for what's happening out there. And part of it's, that's critical to your decision making.
Yeah.
And if you're not out there, it's like, it'll be 5 or 6 days and I go out there and it's like, oh my gosh, look at what we need to be doing here, or look what we've done. Both ways.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's not all negatives. We get people coming in pretty much every day that either haven't been here in a while, or like, wow, it's a lot different. It's turning the corner. I mean, people that have been here since we've been here and are seeing the improvements that we're working on, and they understand that it's a process. It's not going to be something that's fixed overnight, because there's things here that you can't fix overnight. That's impossible. Yeah. But yeah, steps like going through the irrigation. I didn't really plan on doing all that right before we went into a drought, but it was pretty good timing. That we have a lot of things working that weren't working 3-4 months ago, 6 weeks ago even. So that was good timing, and it's been challenging, but it's also been really rewarding. It's nice to be able to go out in the morning and see water running on pretty much the entire course. That's something that it's been a process to get to.
Yeah, now it is very noticeable. So you go out there and you see the big green spots in the brown fields. And the greens are probably healthier than they should be because of the improvement in the irrigation. It's like we've probably increased the water on the greens by 20 to 40% on some of the greens just by repairing and replacing heads and fixing the direction of some of them. So yeah, it's just stuff that, when you have 250, 300 heads on a golf course, and you're paying what, $150 or $250 a head. Yeah, it's kind of a slow process. You just, you do what you can and you just bite off a little bit and take it and move on.
And that's, one of the things that I've been thankful for is because we are, not going slowly, but we're going at the pace that we want to go at, is it's allowed me to kind of, since I've, really been trying to improve the irrigation, and that's kind of been something I've been tackling lately, it's allowed me to get a better understanding instead of, okay, well, let's just fix everything. It's like you can fix everything and it'll work better, but you still don't have an understanding of things. It's
Right.
like being out there every single night and just staring at irrigation heads, understanding what works best. It's like how many should I be running, how long, and all that stuff, specific to this golf course and what it needs. It's been very, very good to go through this process.
It's interesting because that's really, just thinking about it, you're saying that, the way I teach people to play golf. I always tell them, I'm teaching you so you can teach yourself. Instead of just showing you do this and do that, it's like, no, here's what we're going to do, and here's why we do it and how we do it so you understand it. So as I joke with people, I'm not going to follow you around every swing and say yes or no. It's you have to understand what's going on here so you can do that yourself. And it's kind of the same way. It's like, plus the actual enjoyment of walking away and knowing it's like, that brings up the terrifying time. In the middle of this, it's like getting our swimming pool open. And it's like, I don't know how to, it's been 35 years since I've done any of that. So it's like, oh my gosh, it's all a different system. So it's terrifying. So it's just learning that step by step, which we probably didn't need to deal with in the middle of all this, but it's there and some people wanted to use it. So yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Pools are an interesting thing to tackle. Sorry, I just got distracted. I saw people fishing and it kind of caught my eye for a second.
People that aren't supposed to be fishing?
And crying. I'm sure they're members.
Yeah, we have a lot of issues on the property. It's just, in fact, I just about posted something today how, you're so wonderful, and it's like we're so patient with people, and it's been a year and 2 months, 4 months, whatever it's been. Our attitude is let's coach people into the right direction. So, you post things, you tell people, you remind them, you send out emails, and it's just like, you know what? There's some folks that just don't care. So when it's like you have to go say, okay, you really can't do this anymore. All of a sudden you're the bad guy. The guy that they loved and thought was, it's like, come on, folks, we just need a little bit of help here. That's the part that's probably the most frustrating. It gets tiring, if you're putting 80, 90 hours a week in, and it's like, here's someone that I've really asked probably 6 to 8 times to do it this way for the golf course's sake, and they just, won't do it. Yeah, that's the tough, but that's golf courses across the board. Everyone deals with that, whether you're the highest end club or the muni. It's just kind of the nature of the game, I guess.
Well, and that's, to me, that's part of, obviously this is a golf course, it's a business, this is our business, this is what we do, but it's like I think we've been trying to foster some kind of community here, to build kind of a, golf community, whether you're a member or not, and, I think that's one of the reasons that, it's not initially why we started doing this podcast, but it's why we should probably do it a little more often than we can do, is because it gives us an opportunity to explain, not why is our soda's $2 and why is our Gatorade $2.50, but to try to understand some of our philosophy about why we do things and when we do things. I think this is a really unique outlet, and That's why I need to be better about it. I mean, it's usually me. I'm the reason that we don't do this as often. You would do it in like 5 minutes if I said, hey, we're gonna do a new podcast. So if I'm just being honest, I need to be better.
You know, a lot of planning doesn't go into this, so it's not overly. But again, it's just you get consumed by so many things going on. It's like, you know, you start at 6 in the morning and you look at your watch and it's 8 o'clock at night. And it's like, I didn't even get my list done.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do I do? Well, we started early again tomorrow.
Well, and it's like, you know, some of the improvements that we made on the course is the reason that we're able to do this right now. It's
Right.
like I was able to get water out on the course this morning. It's like that's something normally I'd be here till 9 o'clock doing. It's like that's just kind of, you know, as we continue and keep going.
Plus, we can sit here in the windows and see the pool, so that person that stole the chair the first weekend, we can watch, make sure they don't do it again.
No, they can just wave at us as they're driving off with it. Yeah, I don't think anyone sitting in the window is going to stop someone who steals a pool chair. That's
Yeah, they needed it,
Yeah.
they wanted it. So, at least it was new, so they have good taste.
I've totally forgotten how to do this. I've totally forgotten how to transition into new things. So what else do you want to talk about? I'm just going to ask that.
Well, I would say let's get back to the reason to talk about it is because I think people are inflating it, exaggerating it, and giving it way too much importance. The whole new tour thing
Mm-hmm.
is going to ruin the game. It's destroying everything. It's like, really? What? How's that happening? It's like people are still coming out here and playing golf.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, Koepka and Johnson going playing somewhere else. These people didn't say, gee, I'm not playing anymore, game's ruined. It's like, how foolish it was. It's just, come on, guys, really? It's like, get out of your bubble, because that's kind of the issue here. It's like, no, if somebody else wants to play golf in a different game somewhere else, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, and to me, that's where it comes back to. It's two completely different sports. You know, professional golf and then what most of us play. It's two different sports. No one would compare the NBA to going down to the park and playing a pickup game. But golf is a little bit more legitimacy. You know, amateur golf, you know, the golf that all of us play, because it's, you know, something you pay for. You don't really pay to go down and shoot hoops somewhere. It's something people are members of clubs, and those golf courses, you know, there's not really, I guess you could say, TPC courses, but there's not really golf courses that are for the professional golfers. It's like, but I can't go shoot hoops at Staples Center or whatever Bitcoin thing it's named after now. It's like, yeah, those are obviously separate, but I think you know, professional golf and this golf get more conflated because every two handicap thinks that they can probably go out on the tour if they just have the time to practice. But it's like, you can't. So, but yeah, it's you know, the barrage of
Stupidity.
It's
just like some of the comments.
That's a simple way of what I was
Just-
going to say. The barrage of, you know, people coming out and defending the PGA Tour like it's, you know, it's a non-profit organization. Oh wait, it is a non-profit.
Like it's the
organization.
monopoly it wants to be.
Yeah, it's just it's weird. I don't know. There's so few people. It's like I get the whole Saudi Arabia money thing. It's like that makes some things somewhat morally complicated, but it also doesn't make it much more morally complicated than buying a pair of FootJoys or Nikes or something. It's just, I don't know. It's like, I don't think that many people are walking. I'm trying to think of a name of one of the teams, but I can't. Which one's Phil's? It's like the $5 High Flyers or something. It's like no one's buying that merchandise yet, or maybe ever. But it's like your money's not really going to this thing that you're claiming is evil. But you know, buying Nikes. But I don't know. When you start getting into the moral aspects of sports, I kind of tune out, honestly.
Well, I think that's where it becomes an obvious issue of like, wait a second, you're pointing your finger at this guy, but at the same time, you're wearing that, and buying this, and going there. It's like, probably shouldn't be doing that. It's like, you know, again, I come from a different era. It's like I mentioned the other day. And I try not. Sadly, I read some headlines and then I get into it and I get bored with it. But you know, I saw that Justin Thomas tweeted about Kevin Na.
It's actually Justin Thompson.
Thompson. Justin
Thompson. I was making a joke because the announcer on the first team.
Oh, call him
that's
Thompson.
my fault. That's my fault. That was 2 weeks ago.
I'm thinking, gee, did I say no? But no, I'm thinking it's like him tweeting about Kevin Na is like from my generation. That would have been Jack Nicklaus saying something about Roger Maltby.
Yeah.
It's like, would that really have happened?
Yeah.
Never. It's just like, come on, guys, you're trying too hard. I mean, they just kept shooting themselves in the foot, trying to defend and attack, and it's like, it wasn't a good look.
Yeah.
It really wasn't.
Yeah, and it's like everything that they point to that's actually golf related as this isn't golf. It's pretty flimsy. It's like, oh, they have a shotgun start. That's not a real term. It's like, well, kind of is. It's like,
Well, it's you're just playing for all this money, and it's a limited field. That's evil.
yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, we're going to play for all this money, and it's a limited field.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah, there's gonna be
Yeah.
some receipts on.
Yeah, it's just like makes your head spin. It's like, wait a second, just go play golf and do what you're doing.
Yeah, there's no value in the conversation, in my opinion. But what I am hoping is that whatever broadcast partner or streaming partner that the Live Tour, 54 Tour, whatever it's called, they need to work on the name. It's not that great. Whatever partner they go with, just make it easier to watch the golf. I mean, that's the one thing that's so frustrating. It's like NBC and Fox and ESPN and all having different majors. It's like, just make it one place. I have no idea how it's like the most antiquated sport of all, baseball, has the best streaming options available, where I can just press one button and I can watch every Cubs game. And I did that before the season, and I really regret it because the Cubs are terrible this year. But just make it simpler. It's like all this, grow the game crap that they always talk about. It's like, well, make it easier for people to watch. Don't make them change the channel 5 times in 6 hours. It's stupid.
Or even once. I can't
Yeah.
tell you how many times I've walked through the clubhouse and we've got 5 or 6 televisions and a tournament's on, and I look up and it's like, it's not the tournament. What's going on? And I have to go change them all. It's like, really?
Yeah, it flips over to the senior tour or something else. It's just like, that's
Champions tour.
Champions.
They're not seniors.
I'm sorry. They need to work on their name too. Every sport is the better names.
So that's what's probably consumed the headlines. But again, it's like you said, it's like, is that really the people coming in here to play golf on
It gives them something to talk about.
It's like they're going out and playing golf and they're hoping they make a birdie or a par instead of a par or a bogey.
Yeah.
They'll ask, which golf ball should I use? And it's like, that's the stuff that,
Probably the cheaper one.
it's like, hey, can I hit that new demo? It's like, really? Does it comes back to, it's like this has been said many times, how boring is it to watch millionaires argue over something? It's like, come on, really?
Yeah, you can't say that it's about to be the start of NBA free agency, and that's the most entertaining time of the year. It is kind of entertaining. Yeah.
But no, we're pleased with progress. Not even close to where we want to be.
Are you talking about the podcast or the golf course? Because I'm not sure.
Yes. Well, a podcast is like, are we going to be able to do it 2 weeks in a row? Is that the goal?
That's the goal.
Or is this just...
No, we can't. Next Monday's 4th of July.
Oh,
Wow, we picked a bad week
should
to
have
start
waited
back.
2 weeks to start.
I could have not been doing this. Man. We'll figure out something. Maybe we'll find another day to squeeze it in, and then we can just throw one out there.
Or do it live on the golf course on the 4th of July.
Fireworks in the
Of
background.
course, we don't know. I mean, we don't know the operation and the location well enough to know, is this one of those places where everyone goes away on the 4th of July? Or do they stay home and play golf? I mean, we're still trying to figure that stuff out.
Yeah,
So we don't know.
It's weird how it'll be like, why are we so busy on a Thursday afternoon? It's just like, it doesn't make sense yet. It's like, oh wow, Saturday morning we're slow.
Yeah.
It seems totally random. But I'm sure everyone that's from here knows exactly what it is, and they're just laughing at us because we can't figure it out. But
Well, that's probably one of the reasons they're laughing at us.
just trying to be nice. Okay, well, that was good.
That enough?
I think so.
You're not going to talk about your golf swing and
No.
your the clubs and all that
The
stuff.
fact that I'm hitting my driver 223 yards, no, I wouldn't dare mention that. Yeah, I need to work on that. I actually went out and hit range balls today with the launch monitor. That was a bad idea.
It's dangerous to use a launch monitor. It's honest.
I can hit my 5-iron further than my driver right now, so I don't know what that says about me.
Everyone thinks they're hitting the ball 260 yards, and you put them on a launch monitor at 218. Like something's wrong with that.
Yeah, that was eye-opening. When you find time to actually play some golf. But, I don't think I lost any into the 10th fairway, so that's good.
That's
go pick those
promising.
up.
It's probably 230 yards to the 10th fairway, so you couldn't get it there.
All right, this is just gonna keep going if we don't stop. Thanks for listening. Subscribe if you aren't already. Follow us on Instagram, all the places like that. I need to figure out what the actual rundown at the end of an episode is because I don't remember what it is anymore.
Does it scroll?
I don't think so because I think I have to do that manually, and I don't want to do that. So, all right, we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.